Shalom. So let's chat about the situation of persecution. Now we know, and a lot of us living in better countries than the ones in the window where Christians are specifically persecuted, we don't really realize how bad the persecution is. People being martyred, churches being burnt down, people being persecuted for their faith. It's at high levels. You just need to go and look. Go look at Voice of the Martyrs, go check out all these statistics, and you will see what's happening. And it's happening more and more in first world countries as well. Persecution for Christians, having social media posts about God, being locked up and arrested, and people that are in churches that are being burnt down in Africa and the Middle East and being murdered for their faith. Now let's look at Israel. Christians attacked in Bethlehem. This is where Jesus was born. Bethlehem, house of bread. This is where he came to mankind. And Christians are being attacked there. A rabbi has called on Israel to intervene. A series of attacks targeting Christians and Christian sites in the Bethlehem area has many faith leaders deeply concerned. The persecution is threatening the existence of the oldest Christian community in the world. There has been a marked uptick in religiously motivated attacks by Palestinian Muslims on Christians in Bethlehem. Just over 2 weeks ago, a Muslim man was accused of harassing young Christian women at a forefathers Orthodox church in Beit Sahur near the city of Bethlehem. Soon after, the church was attacked by a mob of Palestinian men hurling rocks at the building while congregants cowered inside. Several of the congregants were injured in the attack. The Palestinian Authority, responsible for security in the area, obviously did nothing. The attacks by Muslims on Christians are ignored by the international community and media, who seem to speak only when they can find a way to blame Israel. Another disturbing situation is that the leaders of the Christian community in the West Bank are reluctant to hold the Palestinian Authority and Muslim neighbors responsible. They are afraid of retribution and prefer to toe the line of holding Israel solely responsible for the misery of the Christian minority. Now, I'm not saying that Bethlehem is more important than any other place where Christians are being persecuted, martyred, beat up, and standing for their faith. I'm saying this is a good example of how the whole world is turning against Israel, blaming Israel, calling Israel an apartheid state, calling them the aggressors, comparing them to the Holocaust, all these things, specifically from the Palestinian Authority. But at the same time, they're doing the same thing to Christians who are too scared to speak out because they have to live in that area afterwards and they have to deal with the fallout. But everyone will rather keep quiet because it's not Israel, it's them. And when it's them, it's okay. When it's Israel, it's not. Now, it is never okay to do violence on civilians and do the kind of things that are happening on any side. But this is just plain wrong, that nobody speaks out, nobody says a word, and nobody says, look, here's a similar incident, but on your side, what are you doing about it? How can you make peace when there's a double standard this wide? Please pray for the believers in Bethlehem that are under severe persecution and suffering, along with all those standing for their faith in countries around the world where it's become unbearable to even survive as a Christian. Very soon, we will all be standing before the throne of God. Until then, we will cover each other in prayer and support. God bless. Shalom.